Want to know how to achieve high quality vocals in Pro Tools with just stock plugins? I got 5 of them for you. Check it out. Welcome to In The Mix Live, where we liven up your mix. I'm your host, JayArUh, and in this video, we're going to talk about the top 5 stock plugins that you can use in Avid Pro Tools to liven up your vocal chain mix. Let's go. All right, we're on a screen recording in Pro Tools. You can see me in the corner here. So this is Pro Tools. I renamed this session as top 5 stock plugins, audio cleanup. So first off, I want to do an audio recording, but I need to make some tracks. So I'm going to do Shift Command N. And we're gonna make a mono audio track, and let's just name this test recording, something like that, right? In this case, I want to change the input to the input of my interface, which right now this microphone is going into input 1 of my Scarlett 18 i20. Bam. All right, so if I hit this, now I got signal going into that channel. All right, so I'm going to take it off. Right now, I have another channel set up that has some processing on it, that has my vocal on it right now for you guys to hear me. Okay, so now that we have the test recording track set up and it's set up to my interface, I'm going to go ahead and add some of the plugins we talked about. So we're going to do 5 plugins that are stock plugins here on Avid's platform. So if you go and buy Pro Tools, whether it's the $9.99 a month subscription or the year subscription of artists, studios, so on and so forth, you'll have access to some of the Avid plugins. And these are the stock plugins that come with Avid Pro Tools. So check them out. So right here, if you don't have this where it says inserts A through E or F through J, you can just go up here to view, go to edit window views, and just make sure the inserts A through E or F through J are checked off, and that way you can add plugins from the edit window here. Here's the edit window, or you can hit Command equals, and this is your mix window, and you can also see inserts A through E. In this case, I don't have F through J visible, and if you're in this window and you're more comfortable using the mix window, go to mix window views, and then you have your inserts there. So either or, I like to work in the edit window so I can see all my clips and everything. All right, so let's get into it. The first plugin we're going to talk about is EQ. Click on insert, plugin, EQ, and these are all my EQs that I have installed on this computer. Now, some of these are third-party plugins, like the F6 is a Waves plugin. Isotope is obviously Isotope, but we're gonna stick with the stock, which will be one of these two right here, EQ3 1-band or the 7-band. I like to use the 7-band. It gives you a little bit more versatility, so I'm gonna click 7-band. So this is the first plugin right here that is a stock Avid plugin that comes built into Pro Tools. There's a bunch of parameters here. You have low filter, low mid frequency, high mid frequency, and high frequency. And then you also have your high pass filter, your low pass filter with different slopes here. And then you also have your input volume and output volume. So this is what makes it a 7-band EQ. All right, so we're gonna do a quick recording first before we do anything. I'm gonna bypass this plugin by just hitting Command and clicking it, or you can hit bypass on the plugin itself. We're gonna do a test recording in this track. That way we can see how it's gonna clean up the vocals. Let's go ahead and hit record. Actually, you know what? Before we do recording, I'm gonna go ahead and bring a beat in here. Shift Command I to import an instrumental of some sort. All right, I went ahead and imported this beat. I probably time cut to this because it took me a minute to find something. So I actually wrote to this record a little while ago, last year, but here's the beat. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and record just a quick couple of bars, nothing crazy. Too many mans is fraud, few of the mans is real. I'm gonna redo it because my mic was too hot. Yeah. Too many mans is fraud, few of the mans is real. Let's take a listen to this recording real quick. Yeah. Too many mans is fraud, few of the mans is real. I got a packet that's eating, I'm ready to eat, you can send me the bill. Swear I go harder than y'all. Okay. All right, as you can see, we got good levels, good dynamics, nothing spiking too high, good levels here, nothing peaking. We're good. All right, so good recording levels. Mind you, I'm in my garage. There's not a lot of sound treatment here right now, at the very least. I'm using this SM58 microphone, so it's nothing crazy, nothing too advanced. Let's go ahead and do some mixing. So first stock plugin is the EQ3 7-band EQ. Mentioned this just a minute ago about the different parameters that are available, but now that we have a recording going against the beat, we can go ahead and EQ. So the first thing I like to do with this EQ is just roll off some of the low end. So I'm gonna mute the beat. First thing I do is this high pass filter. So I'm gonna go ahead and press the N to engage it. I'm going to turn this Q all the way up to 24 decibels, and then we're going to kind of pump this up until it sounds clean, not necessarily like totally killing the low end, but the low end I don't necessarily need to clash with the low end of the beat. So let's listen to it.
Too many mans is fraud, fewer the mans is real. I got a packet that's heating, I'm ready to eat, you can send me the bill. Swear I go harder than y'all, I give you something to feel.
That's good.
Sub-zero hot, melt you like ice on the...
Now, some people might think that's too drastic. In my opinion, I think that sounds pretty good. In some cases, if it sounds really noisy, I might just take the high end and do the same thing with the high end, but usually that's not very drastic. So I'm gonna turn it off. For now, let's go to around the low mid areas.
Fraud, fewer the mans is real. I got a packet that's heating, I'm ready to eat, you can send me the bill. Swear I go harder than y'all, I give you something to feel. I'm sub-zero hot, melt you like ice on the grill. You know why I did it, ain't no explanation.
That kind of takes a little bit of that boxiness out of the voice, like I'm right. So we ducked out some of the low mids, and let's see what we can do with the mid frequencies.
Too many mans is fraud, fewer the mans is real. I got a packet that's heating, I'm ready to eat, you can send me the bill. Swear I go harder than y'all, I give you something to feel. I'm sub-zero hot, melt you like ice on the grill. You know why I did it, ain't no explanation. It's printed on his head, there go the expiration. I'm that guy and I'm fly, practice levitation. All they jaws on their floor, that's their designation. I don't just give you the studio free, typically you gotta pay me a fee. Just get it started while you go to sleep. Effort and grind makes a difference with me. Now this ain't Nas, but I'm spitting that ether. This ain't no challenge with cinnamon either. Notice none of more words.
All right, that's decent for EQ. We'll toy with it later, but that's a nice little good starting point. If you notice, I did some reduction on these three bands here. I did the low cut. That was mostly reduction, and then I did some boost in the high end. So typically I would, depending on how much decibels I boosted in the high end, I might cut down on the output. But for the most part, it's pretty balanced out. I don't have to cut too much, but we'll leave it like it is for now and toy with it later. So the next stock plugin, so we're gonna go to the second slot here in the vocal chain. We're gonna go to plugin, and then we're gonna dynamics. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the BF76. If you guys don't know about this, it's very, very popular. This is the Bomb Factory 76. It's emulating the 1176, which is a very famous compressor that was used in a lot of pro records and pro studios, so on and so forth. I like to use this to give it some gain on the input, and then kind of just attenuate the output a little bit. I leave it on the 4:1 ratio here, and this specific plugin, the attack, instead of 1 being a fast attack, it's actually a slow attack. 7 is actually the fast attack.
What?
Same thing with the release. So you kind of just have to play with it and toy with it.
That's what she said.
Michael, please.
There he is.
Please.
There he is. Come on.
To see what kind of sound you want. I typically like a faster attack, but I'll keep it around this area here. So let's take a listen. Let me just bypass it first, and then I'll put it on with just what I just did there now and see what it sounds like.
Too many mans is fraud, fewer the mans is real.
All right, here's
I got
with
a packet that's heating, I'm ready to eat, you can send me the bill. Swear I go harder than y'all, I give you something to feel. I'm sub-zero hot, melt you like ice on the grill.
I might have overcompressed that, but this is just to give you the gist of it, to kind of see what's happening with it so you can hear it and see it. So that's the BF76. The next one is also in dynamics. This is when I kind of get into the de-essing part of it. So Dynamic 3 De-esser is the next one. And I like to use the preset here in the factory default. And I just, for my voice, I go to male DS high filter because I know that my sibilances are a little high sometimes. So in the range, I already know I'm going to be up a little bit higher in like the 8 to 9K range. And we'll see how much decibels we want to deduct from the high end. So let's take a listen with it bypassed.
Too many mans is fraud.
Already on
fewer
the T.
the mans is real. I got a packet that's heating, I'm ready to eat, you can send me the bill. Swear I go harder than y'all, I give you something to feel.
With it.
I'm sub-zero hot, melt you like ice on the grill. You know why I did it, ain't no explanation.
And again, this varies based on your microphone and the frequency response of your microphone. This is not the best microphone when it comes to a flat response. It does kind of have a little bit of a brightness in the high end, so my S's and sibilances and T's and C's are going to be very exaggerated on this microphone. So I need to make sure I attenuate that and attack that with a Deesser. Now, mind you, this is not going to sound perfect. However, this vocal chain is going to give you a much better audio quality than if you were just to jump on a mic and use a dry mic, or even if you were to use like an old USB microphone that has a really small diaphragm and doesn't capture all the frequencies that you need it to capture, and you're not really boosting or cutting anything. So that's the Deesser. That's number 3. Number 4. So this isn't really going to count as number 4. I like to do an additional EQ. So I like to do the first EQ to do a lot of reduction. I usually call that subtractive EQ. And this is where I do like my additive EQ. This is where I do addition. You know, I still do a little bit of reduction. I just listen to those frequencies. But this is also where I start to boost some things as opposed to cut some things. So, all right. So this doesn't really count as a 4th plugin. This is just an additional EQ. This one I like to do a lot of subtractive EQ. This one I'll do additive EQ. So let's take a listen and boost some stuff.
Too many mans is fraud, few of the mans is real. I got a packet that's heating, I'm ready to eat, you can send me the bill. Swear I go harder than y'all, I give you something to feel. I'm sub-zero hot, melt you like ice on the grill. You know why I did it, ain't no explanation. It's printed on his head, there go the expiration. I'm that guy and I'm fly, practice levitation. All they jaws on they...
So that doesn't really count as a 4th plugin. That is just an extra EQ that I like to throw on subtractive EQ and then additive EQ. So let's do the next plugin. Now, this is not going to go directly on the track. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to send this out and bus it to an aux track because I'll probably end up using it on multiple tracks. But in this case, for the example, I'm going to use it directly on the track. So number 1 is Reverb. And in this case, the stock reverb that is in Avid Pro Tools is called Deverb. And you have Deverb Mono and Deverb Mono Stereo. So I actually like to use Mono Stereo. When you add a stereo plugin directly on the track, it's going to change the track to a stereo track, which is okay. These are still considered mono plugins, but then this one changes to a stereo plugin, so you still have the stereo effect of reverb. So I like to go here and I like to leave it on large. I'll push this gain all the way up, drop this. Since I'm doing it directly on the track, I'm going to drop it quite a bit. We'll leave this around the 4.5 for a second and give it a little bit of pre-delay, a little bit of a filter. Let's see what that sounds like.
Too many mans is fraud, few of the mans is real.
That's cool.
I got that pack.
So I'll just tweak with that a little bit and get a nice little subtle reverb in there. I might have to turn it down, turn it up. So mind you, I haven't even played my vocal against the beat yet. So the vocal could sound totally different against this beat, especially this type of beat that's really bass heavy. So it changes depending on, you know, what you do with the beat. But these are the plugins that I want to show you first. Number 5 is going to be delay. Again, I'm going to put it directly on the track. Typically this would be done in a bus track. The Mod Delay 3, which is an Avid plugin. So that's a stock plugin. And this is a stereo plugin as well. The cool thing about this is you can map it to the tempo. So if you know the tempo of your beat, quick tip, if you don't know the tempo of your beat right off the bat, in this case I do, it's 140 because it's my beat and I put it as 140 in the title. However, if I wanted to double check that or verify it, let's go to Google Chrome and you're going to type in vocalremover.org. We're gonna go there. One of the things I like to use it for is this right here, Key BPM Finder, and then you just browse your files. I'm gonna go ahead and find it and get it uploaded for you real quick. Open. All right, there we go. So there's the name of the beat. I already know it's 140, but let's see what this processes it as. Bam, there you go, 140. And then it also tells you the key, which is great if you're using any type of tuning, auto-tune, Melodyne, and you don't know off the top of your head what key they're singing in for the auto-tune. Here it is, A flat minor. So that works pretty well. I'm gonna make sure the tempo of my session is at 140. So here's tempo. We're gonna click this little plus button and we're gonna change it from 120 to 140. So now the tempo of my session's at 140. So now when I choose one of these notes, whether it's a whole note, half note, quarter note, I'm gonna do quarter note. I like to use quarter note. We'll do that on both. But I like to do this like back and forth delay effect. So I'm not gonna make it exactly 428. I might make it 430 on this side. And then I'm gonna give it some feedback. Feedback doesn't have to be exactly the same. We're not gonna make it 100% wet. This is probably gonna be like 10%, 11% because it's right on the track. Now let's take a listen.
Yeah. Too many mans is fraud, few of the mans is real. I got that packet that's heating, I'm ready to eat, you can send me the bill. Swear I go harder.
Now you get a stereo effect, which is really nice. And I like to make it really subtle for the most part, but right now it's gonna be kind of hard to do that because it's right on the track. But if you have it bust out and using a send and use the send fader, it makes it a lot easier for the wet and dry. That's number 5, mod delay 3. So here's EQ3 7-band, that's number 1. BF76 for compression, D3 dynamic 3 Deesser, that's number 3. Number 4 would be the Reverb, and number 5 would be the delay. Again, these two are time-based effects. These would typically be used on a bus track. I can show you how to do that later, but for now, I'm gonna put it right on the track, and let's put it with the beat and see what it kind of sounds like with the beat.
Guy and I'm fly, practice levitation. All they jaws on their floor, that's their designation. I don't just give you the studio free. Typically, you gotta pay me a fee. Just get it started while you go to sleep.
All right, so now for this specific vocal, I don't like the BF76. Just saying. So here's another stock plugin. If you don't like the way that compression sounds, what I do want to say is that there's other options. So you don't have to do the BF76 if you don't like the way it sounds or how it's processing your vocal. There is one other compressor that I like to use, which is the Dynamic 3 compressor limiter. So I'm going to put that on there. We're going to toy with that. Let me bypass all the other stuff real quick before we get to that.
I'm that guy and I'm fly, practice levitation. All they jaws on their floor, that's their designation.
I replaced the BF76 with the Dynamic 3 compressor limiter. So here's the settings that I came out with. Again, this is all just basically using my ears and a little bit of knowledge of compression. Let's take a listen with the beat.
Too many mans is fraud, few of the mans is real. I got a packet that's heating, I'm ready to eat, you can send me the bill. Swear I go harder than y'all, I give you something to feel.
So it's not bad, you know what I'm saying? It's not like amazing, but you did get high quality vocals off of a SM58 in the garage with no treatment. So let's just bypass all of this. You can hear it with the beat without the processing.
Too many mans is fraud, few of the mans is real. I got a packet that's heating, I'm ready to eat, you can send me the bill. Swear I go harder than y'all, I give you something to feel. I'm sub-zero, hot, melt you like ice on the grill. You know why I did it, ain't no explanation. It's printed on his head, that go to expiration. I'm that guy and I'm fly, practice levitation. All they jaws on their floor, that's their designation. I don't just give you the studio free. Typically you gotta pay me a fee. Just get it started while you go to sleep. Effort and grind makes a difference with me. No, this ain't Nas, but I'm spitting that ether. This ain't no challenge with cinnamon either. No.
Now, this is very rough, okay? I'm not making a perfect vocal. I'm not sitting here mixing this for a long period of time for a client or anything, okay? All I'm saying is that you can achieve high quality vocals with stock plugins. Those are the 5. So let's recap. You got the EQ3 7-band EQ. You have the Dynamic 3 compressor limiter. You have the Dynamic 3 Deesser. You have the Reverb, and you have the mod delay 3. Those are 5 stock plugins that you can use in Avid Pro Tools if you start your subscription for $10 a month right now with Pro Tools Artist or even Pro Tools Intro, and bam, you can get a nice clean sound with stock plugins. All right, so hopefully that was a nice video for you guys. I'd like to do more of this for you all if possible. If you have any suggestions on anything you want to see specifically, any plugin you want to see that I can review, waves plugins, third-party plugins, auto-tune, please let me know in the comments down below. Please go and join the in crowd if you can. It is a great place for you to be a part of a community for everyone that would like to learn these type of things and practice this as well. For those of you who have already joined the in crowd, which is my Patreon account, go to the link in my description for that. Get access to exclusive content, including early access and discounts to the online courses, ebooks, trainings. We also do live Q&As, live music submission reviews, and mix reviews on TikTok. So if anybody has any songs that they'd like me to review or anything you would like me to dissect and help you get a better mix, I'd love to be a part of it. Comment down below if you have anything you want me to go ahead and mix live on In The Mix Live. Hopefully that helped you to be able to liven up your mix. Thanks for joining in. Don't be afraid to hit that notification bell and subscribe for more videos in the future. Peace.
Too many mans is fraud, few of the mans is real. I got a packet that's heating, I'm ready to eat, you can send me the bill.